If you've been spinning your wheels trying to get your Etsy print-on-demand store off the ground, I get it. The truth is, most people are going about it the wrong way. In this video, I'm going to show you the smartest path to $5,000 a month, step by step, and the biggest mistakes to avoid. First off, why should you even listen to me? Well, I am a multi-six-figure seller. I've done around $500,000 in revenue in my first year and a half on Etsy doing print on demand. So I am somebody that is in the trenches now to this date doing exactly what I'm preaching about here today. The goal is that by the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step action plan that you can implement into your own shop so that you can see results in the fastest time frame possible. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So I've broken this down into 5 steps. And this is based off of data that I myself have analyzed from my own shop and that will help you hopefully be successful. So step 1 is going to be your product choice. So one key thing is to choose products that are not very often seen, right? So that you don't have a ton of competition. And this is something that I have done and I have seen success, and I attribute most, or not most of it, but a lot of it to this right here. And that's the product choice. And instead of just selling your common sweatshirt, t-shirt, that type of thing, there's so many things in print on demand that you can sell. It's insane. Like just the product catalog of Printify, for example. I don't know how many products they sell, but it's maybe thousands of products. It's at least hundreds of products. So keep that in mind. Don't lock yourself into just the t-shirt rat race and just, yeah. So first off, we want products that are, let's say, profitable and have high margins. Okay, and this is kind of hand in hand. You need high margins to be profitable in this day and age on Etsy. So yeah, and what I mean by this is that your margins need to be high enough to account for all of the expenses you have in running your Etsy print on demand business. So they need to cover, or they need to be profitable after all expenses, right? So included in this is your Etsy ads, your Etsy fees, your cost of product, right? Your cost of goods sold, and also your shipping. All of that needs to be taken into account when figuring out if that product is profitable or not. Now, this is something that I did not do when I first started out, and I'll come back to that, but this is something I've learned over time, and I'm hoping that this will help you see better results than I did in a faster time frame. So yeah. Now, this next point here contradicts a little bit with what we have here, but you want to offer low ticket in combination with high ticket. High ticket. Okay, so low ticket products in combination with high ticket products. Now, why do we want to offer low ticket products? Well, low ticket products will most of the time sell more units, right? So you'll have more sales from your low ticket products, especially to start out with. And this ultimately will increase your sales volume, right? We want our sales volume to just shoot up as fast as possible because Etsy sees this and starts pushing your store more and more and more. And low ticket products will actually help you get reviews as well, right? So the more sales you have, the more reviews you can get, the greater traction you can start getting, and then it'll all just snowball from there. Now, the bread and butter is going to be from your high ticket. So that's where the money is going to be made. But this low ticket here is still a very, very important aspect of it. So just a quick story. I started, like I said, when I started out, I didn't know about this. I obviously knew that I wanted to be profitable, but I didn't really calculate. I didn't calculate all the expenses, right? I didn't know all of this. But I actually started out, I'll tell you the product. I started out selling candles, and I'll just tell you right now, candles are not profitable, so don't think about going into this. But candles, I made a ton of sales. I got good reviews right away. And actually in my first month, I made $2,500 in revenue. But the profit was not there, right? I maybe made a few $100. But so the moral of the story is, in hindsight, I'm actually glad I did that, because I was actually able to gain some traction and get the ball rolling, and Etsy pushed my store, and it kind of just snowballed from there. So that is why we want to offer a combination of these things. Step 2 is going to be multiple suppliers. Okay? So why would we leverage only one supplier if we have access to multiple, right? Suppliers are going to be good at different things, and they will have a unique product catalog. So why wouldn't we take that, grab that by the horns, and implement that into our own shop, right? It's just a win-win for us, leveraging multiple suppliers, because you can choose the best products that they have. And so best products from that supplier, best products from that supplier. Maybe they offer better prices. So all of a sudden, maybe a product that was not profitable on Printify, all of a sudden is profitable if you sell it through a different supplier. You know what I mean? So be open to that. Don't just lock yourself into one supplier. So don't lock in. Don't lock in to one supplier. Okay? And I don't lock into one supplier. I use multiple print providers. And a lot of successful people that I know use multiple print providers. So again, like I said, the product catalog nowadays is just so vast. Be creative. Use those creative juices to think of things that you can sell that can help you stand out from the market. Yeah, so don't lock in. Choose products with best prices, right? Best prices, best shipping, and we could put in there best customer service as well. But we want to, like I mentioned, we want to choose suppliers that have those things. Now, one supplier will not be good at everything, right? Some suppliers will be better at one thing, other suppliers will be better at another thing. But that is why we can leverage multiple suppliers. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, one thing I want to touch on here as well is remember to do your due diligence. So I'm just going to write due diligence. Due diligence. And the reason I say this is, if you do not, for example, order a sample of a product that you're going to be selling, you might get unlucky and maybe it's a shit product, right? And this will just snowball. You'll get bad reviews. It'll kill your shop. So do your due diligence. Order a sample. Check it out. Check if the shipping time is as stated. Check if the quality of the product is up to par, if it's high quality. Check if what the packaging looks like. How is the communication from the supplier? All of these things you want to check so that you can actually sell a product that people want to buy, right? So just a quick backstory here. In my own shop, I'll tell you the product here as well. I actually started selling desk plants from a supplier called T-Launch. And T-Launch is based in the US, just like Printify. But, however, this product was a desk plant and it was a new product to T-Launch. And I jumped on it and started selling it. Now, it was a planter with a plant in it, and you could engrave whatever you want, a design onto the actual planter part of it, and it would ship in a box to the customer, right? It sounds good, and in theory, it's really good. I got sales right away. I was making lots of sales, and this just goes to show you that product choice can really affect your sales. So I got sales, but there were so many things wrong with this. The engraving on the planter was a lot of the time not very legible and just not nice looking at all, very cheap. And another thing was that the shipping took longer than stated a lot of the time, and this was very, very frustrating. And another thing was that the plants would sometimes show up dead because of this, right? So the customer opens the box and the actual plant is dead, which is a main part of the product, right? So as you can imagine, it kind of snowballed. I got a bunch of bad reviews. I had to do a ton of refunds, and luckily I was also able to get refunds from the supplier. But obviously you don't get refunds for the Etsy ad spend you have, all that stuff. You don't get a refund for that from your supplier. So I was in the hole then. So let that be a lesson. Do your due diligence. Always check these things. All right, step 3. Now, just before we move on to step 3, if you want to know a little bit more about myself and how you can potentially work with me, I do coaching. So go ahead and check the video in the description. It'll actually just tell you a little bit more about me and how you can see if you qualify to work with me. And also comment down below if you have gotten some value so far from this video. I'm going to be pumping out more and more videos. So if you have any specific topics that you guys want to cover, comment that down below. I'll be sure to reply to that, as well as put that into my calendar. So check out that video below as well. Okay, step 3. Step 3 is going to be customized products. Okay, so customized products are awesome. I recommend everybody to do customized products, and that is because Etsy itself is a platform for gifts, right? People are coming to Etsy for unique gifts that can be gifted to other people for special occasions, anniversaries, graduation, pregnancy, all these things, right? And you can customize your designs so that they can incorporate a name, a special date, maybe a picture of a baby, whatever it is, right? That is the beauty of customization. It ties directly into what Etsy is all about. And the nice thing about customized products is that it really just tugs on the heartstrings of your buyer, right? So they will be more likely to leave you glowing reviews, which in turn helps out your shop. And also the cool thing about it is it justifies higher prices, right? Justifies higher prices. So you can charge more, right? You can make more money and you can get better reviews. That sounds like a win-win. Now, a lot of sellers do offer customized products. However, a lot of them don't. So this is a tool to help you stand out, right? Stand out from your competition. Stand out, make sales. Now this will also increase your conversion rate. So better conversion rate. Etsy pushes your shop more, you get more sales, and you can get to see now that all these things kind of interact with each other and kind of connect to each other, and really just will catapult your shop into success. Okay? Step 4. Step 4 is going to be provide value. Okay? Kind of like how I'm doing now. I want to provide value to you guys. So provide value to your customer. And one way to do that is through, like we just talked about, personalized products, right? Personalized products, that's going to provide value. Another thing you can do is bundles. What I mean by bundles, maybe this isn't quite the right word, but what I mean by bundles is offering multiple products in one listing. So, and what I mean by that is I don't mean just combining candles with a mug in your listing, right? That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. What you want to do is, for example, offer a white mug, a multicolor mug, a glass mug, right? And different sizes. And that's what I mean by multiple products that make sense to sell together in one listing, right? That's going to help you. So not just the one white mug, but multiple variations that the customer can choose from. That's also going to, all of these things are actually going to help increase your conversion rate, right? Another thing you can do is like group listings. So what I mean by that is listings that target, for example, groomsmen, bridal party, right? The groom has to buy gifts for all his groomsmen, right? So he's obviously going to get the same thing, or a lot of time at least, the same thing for all of his groomsmen. And that's something we can exploit, right? Maybe it's a family, right? Maybe it's a family that gets something. Maybe it's a grandma and grandpa. Maybe it's a mom and dad. So try and think a little bit outside the box and think about how you yourself can provide value that will in turn make you more money. And last point here as well, can you provide options that nobody else offers, right? Right? Can you provide options that nobody else offers? Now, it could be that you are first to Etsy to offer those options, and then when other sellers see that, they themselves also add those same options. However, if you are first to the market with that, a lot of the time, in my experience, a lot of the time, if you're first to the market, you will actually get all the sales. You will build up the reviews, and all those copycats that come after, they won't really see proper success. So just keep that in mind. Okay? And the last step is going to be step 5. Step 5, Etsy ads. Double underline. And this is because I believe Etsy ads are a must in today's day and age, because Etsy is becoming quite competitive with sellers. But that being said, you can still break into the market if you do all of these things correct. You can still break into the market and make good money and have good success. I've done this myself, so I know what it takes. And it is hard work. You do have to work hard. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's totally worth it if you go ahead and actually implement these things. So Etsy ads can be a scaling tool, right? Scaling tool for your shop. Now this is what's going to scale you to 5K, 10K, 15K, and beyond, right? If you master Etsy ads, then you're winning. You're winning. for sure. Now, that being said, you can lose money on Etsy ads if you don't know what you're doing. You need to make sure all of your listings are optimized. Optimized listings, right? So you need proper mock-ups that answer all your customers' questions, and they look realistic. They speak to that target customer that you're going for. It speaks to their emotions. And you also want to make sure your titles are optimized, your tags are optimized, everything, your prices are optimized, everything needs to be optimized. When you optimize all these things, that's when you're going to start seeing success with Etsy ads. Now, you're not going to see success with every single listing you post. That's just the reality of it. But once you get this thing going, you'll see success and you'll keep the ads on for those listings that are successful. So yeah, that's kind of like my take. That is kind of my take on Etsy ads. We don't have enough time to dive into actually how Etsy ads works, but Etsy ads, in my opinion, as I mentioned, if you're doing Etsy print on demand in 2025 and beyond, it's something you need to do. It's not a question of if I need to do it. It's you got to do it. So yeah. So with that being said, guys, again, just to reiterate, check the video in the description and get to know me a little bit. And if you qualify to work with me, then you can book a call through there as well. But if you implement all these steps here, I think you'll see some good success. So good luck, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.